Can we admit that infantry have always been brutally OP? Well, I have the strategy to show you how unbelievably OP they are. Strategies perfected in multiplayer meta. That's right, multiplayer meta infantry. No, and it's not 7-2. In fact, it's the exact opposite of 7-2. What if the United States ended World War II as quickly as they possibly could? This is the video I'm going to show you, and I'm going to combine it with the most OP meta infantry. Are you ready? Let us begin. The big red one, the big division. Delete all apart from that one division. Oh, actually, that's not the one. Here is the big one. We'll give it a different icon. It's the home guard one. We'll give it the bullets. Oh, there's a few of them. Okay. You'll do delete apart from one. And then we exercise the single division. Bring him home. That is the meta of gaining XP at the start of the game. Ship lovers, I hear you guys, and I'll finish them. Okay, I'll do it. There you go. Are you happy now? Of course. One into trucks. And of course, one into trains. Hang on a minute. That's a different train icon. Oh, wow. New graphics in Hoi 4. Not very exciting, but I will be playing the democratic path of the United States. But I will try my absolute best to intervene in World War II as early as possible and end the war as quickly as possible. Continue the New Deal. Girders, wrenches, electronics. Also, light tank. A little bit of anti-air, a little bit of artillery, a little bit of support equipment. That looks pretty good. Our industry of the United States is incredibly girthy, and there is no incentive to make civilian factories, so you just make, from the very beginning of the game, mills. It's kind of weird, because we're technically rearming for no war that's coming up. There's definitely not a war coming, boys. But I'm going to build them anyway. You come to my videos for answers, like what is the best tank division in Hearts of Iron 4? Oh, wow, this can work. This is Deep Agent. It's like having a top tier Hearts of Iron 4 meta helper who never sleeps. Need help designing division templates, figuring out new meta strategies, or even organizing your complex Hoi 4 mod ideas? That's right, the complexity of modding. Deep Agent's got you covered. It can plan playthroughs, script my videos. It's a game changer. But it's not just Hoi 4. Writing, scheduling, browsing websites, downloading images, or even putting together presentations and detailed websites. You can connect Gmail, Jira, and Slack and create tickets, read emails, post messages. You just tell it what you need. Deep Agent allows you to create complex tasks that require many different prompts, such as making this entire game with just one command. You get 3 tasks per month for $10, or you can go pro tier for $10 for more tasks per month. This also includes Chat LLM, which is an all-in-one, one super assistant for chat, image, and video generation. Check it out at deepagent.abacus.ai. Link in the description. Thanks to Deep Agent for sponsoring this video. All right. 5 speed. Off we go. I guess we can merge the Navy as well. Like a death stack. Which is not incentivized, but still works. An exercise to level 3. And then we get unlimited naval XP for the rest of the game. Once again, something else that should probably be nerfed. But it's not. At the same time, we grab all the air forces. And then merge them up. One of the downsides of America is you can't expect it to do a little bit of everything. Air Force, Navy, Land Forces, tanks, everything. And being split in so many different directions, it's kind of hard to specialize with your research slots. So you're going to have to kind of prioritize one over the other. The New Deal, followed by the WPA. Then we fix our depression. All right, time to do a small lobbying effort. I've been told by a very reliable source that this is apparently the meta, doing lots of small lobbying efforts. Apparently the medium ones are less cost effective. And do you know what? I've not actually got the spreadsheets out to double check that. So I'm just going to believe you guys. Political power is a problem as the United States. So we're going to go for the silent workforce to gain a very tiny slither of political power. We're not exaggerating. It's a very small amount. Hey, more mills. Queue them up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Also, what we're going to do is queue up an aerodynamics facility, and we're going to build that at a port. Also, a land warfare, and we'll build that on a port. Do we want a nuclear facility? Nah, we'll never get that far. Radio. Send us support in Mississippi. Build a munitions factory. Mississippi. Yeah, first time's a charm. Isn't it great when you play America and you get those events? Because it's like a little GeoGuessr game to remember where your states are. Remember, I'm not American, so I don't remember where all the states are. So it's a test for me, okay? Not for you, okay? There's a revolution. Wow, I do not care. Anyway, Adjustment Act. We're going to fix depression at the very start of the game. In 1936, which I think is a little bit too fast. But disperse industry, because we want to focus on long-term gains. Big production. Small lobbying effort. Light tank, followed by armor on that light tank. That's right. Actually having armor on the tank is probably going to really very, very helpful. Fast tanks. Miles for tanks. I always think the best things to go for miles when it comes to tanks is go for reliability and speed, and that allows you to put as many stats on those tanks as possible. In that case, defense. Armor is always good. Soft attack, that's always good. There we go. Queue them up. Girder 1 is complete. Girder 2 is important. Now, that's important in this circumstance because girders mean we can start to focus on these experimental facilities because they benefit from the construction bonuses. See that? Free trade and construction? Yes. Okay, so you cannot do the Great Depression fixes immediately after another. You have to wait 100 and something odd days. So in that case, you just proceed on to something else. In this circumstance, I think we're going to go for the research slot. So we're going to branch out, and then we're going to work towards limited intervention and more lobbying. For clicks purposes, it's kind of best to go for medium, just because you can click on it and like, kind of ignore it, you know? Anyway, naval XP. Once again, unlimited amount of that. Go for this officer corps. Well, naval command, and it gives extra XP, so that's going to be useful. Next up, I'm going to go for army offense to ticking army XP. We have a naval breakthrough. I like to save up to get... Where is it? Proximity fuse. It requires radio 2. So in that case, we'll just dismiss that, and we'll go for that later. It allows you to get an improvement for your artillery and your other support artilleries, so I always think that's worth it. You disagree? You were just plain old wrong. The miles for the ships are easy, because this one gives production, and then there's another production one here too, so you go boop, 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 boop. I'm making a few light tanks. We'll just make a few to begin with. Okay, I'm actually getting impatient, so I feel like I want to do medium lobbing. Oh, it is cost effective, because look, it's 30 days for 3 political power, 0.3. And then 45 days for 0.75. Ah, it is. So small lobbying is the most effective. However, it just requires more clicks, which is just a pain in the ass to constantly keep clicking. But it is what it is. You know, I believe that America is unlimited industry. So in your circumstance, it doesn't really matter what plane you make. If you just make enough of them, they will work. If you throw enough stuff at it, eventually it will work. Okay, artillery is important. Just to recap on research, production, soft attack, production, and planes. The Democrats have won the election, giving a massive 20% boost to infrastructure. This usually is a really good time to actually build some infrastructure. And you know what? I've just realized something. There is actually dams. I think there's one dam here. You go into states map mode. Paradox didn't add that to the game, so you can actually see where dams are. Now, obviously, if you know American geography, which I don't, you'd know where the dams are, wouldn't you? It does appear there's only one. And in that circumstance, we'll build our land warfare facility in Nevada. Then Air Force will pop that in Los Angeles. Plan is to use the last remaining production to spam out as many light cruisers as possible. 10% production? Washington would like to gain some shipyard facilities. In Washington? Oh, the Washington State. Ah, I was thinking of Washington, D.C. And I'm thinking Washington, D.C. Hang on a minute. Isn't that even... Is that inland? So therefore it wouldn't need a port. Oh no, actually no, technically it's not. Okay, it does have a port. Never mind, I'm wrong. British man does not know American politics. Correct! Okay, house support has dropped dramatically. I really want to do medium lobbing, but I'm going to stick to the method, okay? Trust the process. I'm going to reach out to the WARE group to get a bunch of free advisors, because communism and government, what could go wrong, right? Getting 1.3 naval XP per day. I think that might need nerfing, Paradox. I don't know. Getting a vibe. Editor gains additional political power and also free advisors. Production efficiency cap's a good one. Construction 2 is done now, so now we need to be producing those special experimental facilities. Special measures gaining me extra support from Senate and House. I'll do that. Farming subsidies. It's a free one. Doesn't cost political power, so that's a no-brainer. It just costs some consumer goods. Which, as you can see, I never lack consumer goods because I am the United States of America, and that's never a problem I ever have. Anyway, install aggression and also get rid of the bad torpedoes. That's right. At the start of the game, American Naval Command has a negative modifier. And then the doctrines. Land warfare facility, and we're going to be working on flame tanks. Oh yeah, I forgot to sell things on the market as well. It's always something you do at the start of the game. Oh well, sell them better late than never, right? Okay. When you join the market late, you have nothing to work with. Oh well. Time for the Fair Labor Standards Act. Time to be fair, America. And then we'll go limited intervention. Medium lobbying. Special measures. Amend the budget. Oh, actually, I don't want that one because I lose support from the Senate and the House. I don't want to do that. Now we have an air warfare facility. Aerodynamics facility that has supply problems. Does it have supply problems? Yeah, apparently it does. Build up the railway, or we could build a bigger port. The difference is only like 5-6%. Yeah, it's probably not even worth it. Anyway, we need to make radar anyway. So, radar specialist. Electronics, boyo. Here we go. Yay! Limited intervention is now a possibility, so now we have the option to send volunteers. All right, to start that off, we need to make ourselves a horse division. Classic garrison template. And then we make a few of these. Obviously, medium lobbying. Occupation is local autonomy with horse. And limited intervention. All right, so you can see here, limited intervention, 70 days. This will reduce the cost of joining a faction by 25 and also volunteers by 35, guaranteed attention, etc., etc. So we have basically the opportunity to join the war significantly early. However, it does suffer and penalize our ability to change mobilization. So the intervention is going to happen. However, it's going to be limited. Hence the name, limited intervention. Okay, we're going to need quite a few guns for this. And then we'll make a division off the back of it. All right. This video was about metas, didn't I? I talked about the perfect infantry meta. Well, it is infantry. Yep, you already know that part. However, it's a lot of infantry. And now the question is right now, Dave, 36 combat width infantry. Why no line artillery? Well, line artillery are less cost effective. Now, they will overall give you more soft attack, but you will lose organization, you will lose HP, and you will lose recovery rates. Like if I add just a single, let's say we'll add 2 on. Look what it's doing. This is a single piece of line artillery, and then look at the impacts of this. We're losing recovery rate, we're losing defense, we're losing entrenchment, we're losing extra supply consumption, and we're losing org, and we're losing a massive amount of HP. It costs more overall to make, and it makes the combat width larger. Remember, the combat width of one piece of line artillery is +3, but a single infantry battalion is +2. So you start to see a pattern here now, when all the stats that you potentially lose from line artillery only reward you with a little bit more soft attack. End of the day, it's just better off and more cost effective to have infantry in larger numbers by taking advantage of having more numerous amounts of them in division. And also you get penalties to terrain as well. All right, some of these aren't very big. I accept that. However, though, it is a bit of a pain in the ass to experience these. Trust me, the meta of this now is to ignore line artillery and go for the maximum meta width, which is 36. Now, I know everybody in your body is screaming, saying, Dave, I've always done it the old way. Why are you making me change? Hey, listen, you do what you want to do, okay? I'm letting you know this is the current meta. Anyway, deploy the horses. Go here. This is artificially making our army larger. So if we did want to send volunteers, we could do it, but we need 70% world tension. And it doesn't tell me about the numbers. But anyway, just to trust me on this one, the more divisions you've got overall deployed, the more potential you've got to send volunteers. So we need another 150 of these, 150, and we'll say 100. The flame tank, let's research that. I think I have to build a bigger port in LA. How big is the port already? That's 5. I know. Hang on, that's just silly. A level 5 naval base is going to take a very long time to build. 10,000 production cost is about the same as a civilian factory. Do I care enough for that? And build the railway up again. Do the railway. So if you're not familiar with how experimental facilities work, if they have a little icon in the top left that says low supply hour, it's not showing it now. You suffer from a penalty for how quick a research will happen. It looks like maybe when the deserts are very have bad weather, that's result in supply reduction. It might only happen at certain times of the year. Oh, well, the more you know anyway. Limited intervention. So now we have the option to send volunteers a little bit earlier. Let's have a look. So now not requiring 70% world tension, I only need 35%, which we're actually pretty close to that already. And then we do have the option to join a faction earlier as well. Let's see, Britain. Oh, actually, that's not true. We still need 80% world tension. Okay, that's a long way away. Heads up, from testing, I prefer medium. Just medium lobbying requires less clicks, so therefore I don't keep having to hover over my decisions. So I much prefer medium lobbying over low lobbying. Let's make the tank better. So we are currently producing this, and we can make an improver light tank. Now, the effort of this tank is just going to be to try and add as much armor on as possible. So full armor, autocannon is good for cost efficiency. And then we add on the heavy machine gun, and we can't add any more on because the tank's too small for that. But then you could add more machine guns on. Machine guns out of every single hole in this tank. Okay, something like this looks pretty good. I think it's a little bit too hardcore on the reliability though. 3-man turret, yeah, 108% reliability. There's nothing you gain from going over 100%, but at least it means I don't have to keep checking in on it. Light tanks. So now this division will have light tanks on it. Now we're going to go light tank recon, so it's got 9.5 armor. Not impressive, but it's good. And also anti-air. Actually, that's the wrong division. Make sure we do that right. There we go. 9.1 armor. Yep. Anti-air. Yep. Just for the balancing everything out, we'll have it like that in that order. Raw propaganda. Extra 10% war support. That is pretty damn good. I'll take that. Because that will allow us to mobilize. It will cost us 300 political power to mobilize. If we go for an extra war support, we can go a little bit higher. Plus, we were to send relations to China and send an attaché. we can get some more war support. For every attaché you send, you gain 10 war support. However, you only really get the bonus from 1, so you can't really stack them higher and higher. War props are at 41% war support, and that will let us mobilize to early mobilization, which is really impressive for America at this point in the game. So we also have the option to do radio propaganda for an extra +5 war support. That puts us over 50%. That means we can go for partial mode, which is probably the best when in peacetime. So I'm not going to select a national focus now unless Housing Act becomes available, because I want to get the 300 political power and mobilize. Not that it really matters, because you're American, your industry is so fat, it's kind of a bit of a joke. All right, let's train some proper divisions now. 16 of the National Guard Division. Big boys, and with all the supports. The final support is going to be Flamer tanks, but we're still currently working on that. Oh, no, I just finished. Oh, no, I was wrong. We go for the heavy interwar, add the Flamer onto it. We'll go for a fixed superstructure for the reliability. And then once again, focusing on getting the armor and the soft attack up. We'd slope the armor and add cannons on. And that'll leave us with 51% reliability. That's not very good. Probably going hard on the cannons is not worth it. If you want to go lighter on, you can do machine guns, which don't reduce reliability. Think about it. More moving parts the tank has, the more likely it has to fail. So, Christie suspension for the speed. Okay, that's a decent amount of reliability. And then we've got the nice payoff of the armor as well. You have to mark it as a heavy tank, though. There we go. We like the icon. The bronzy colored tank. Ooh, I like that one. Bulldozer tank. Why not? All right, making the flamers. Good. And then we add the flamers on to you, which adds a total amount of 5.2 armor, which is quite modest. Soft attack of 5.6, which is good. And all the terrain traits, which is very good. Okay, we need decent plane now. We have a basic low set support. Basic, is that what we've got? We've not got the more advanced plane? No, it's called basic. Never mind. I thought basic was the first one, but it's not. It's the second. Deploy the diversions. Pop them here. And then we go for the planes. Here we go. So, we'll do the bomb locks. Double bomb locks. With the CAS. I do like the range, though. I am a big lover for the range. We're going to hit heavy with the CAS. Extra fuel. And then maybe drop tanks again. No, that's it. Range, bomb, bomb. We do not have the XP for that. Can we hire the guy? No, we can't. All right, well, I guess we're just making basic ones for now. I have to spot that I've run out of manpower as well. Changing manpower is going to cost a lot of PP. There is an alternative, though, because you can actually go for Selective Training Act, which is a freebie. Just a national focus that improves your laws. I like that. Oregon Munitions Facility. Oregon's underneath Washington. Yes. All right, mobilize. Boom. We go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to basically all of them. America, man. Come on, America. Okay, I am kind of exploiting the game here by making America mobilize this quickly, but in the same time, it's kind of like, man, am I meant to be this strong this quickly? Also, speaking of strong quickly, guess who's completed the doctrines? Well, okay, 4 off, all right. Close, all right. Wow, talk about top news events. New president of Uruguay. One way of getting air XP is just to exercise your fleet indefinitely. Grab all your planes, exercise, and say only exercise in the day. And you will gain a very, very, very small amount of air XP. Don't get too carried away. It's not a lot. Send volunteers to China. We could do that. 18 of them. And that's the reason why we train so many cavalry. So it disproportionately makes our army look a lot bigger. So we can just send our best general. 7 attack. Mr. Patton. Oh my god. It's just not Patton. It's Patton, isn't it? 18. Send air volunteers. Boom. Off you go. More armor. 18 divisions have arrived. All right, you're about to see the full potential of infantry now. So we're going to add Eisenhower because he has that good reduction on attack. Front line, pop you guys here. Not exercise all the way up, so that will limit their potential. But one thing we're not going to do is limit the potential with infantry expert. Yeah, that's good. On to the front. Thorough planner. Oh, free attack for nothing. I don't mind if I do. Anyway, all the boys are on the front now. Getting planning. Max mobilization priority. We have well and truly entered alt history territory now, lads. We all remember when America sent 100,000 troops to China, right? A real historical scenario. Damn, manpower so high now. So right now we've got most cost effectiveness and reduction of supply. So that's looking pretty good for us. However, remember the position you are in the world right now, you will suffer from a big penalty of supply due to just the way it works. Supply in Hoi Fo with volunteers has always been awful. And then we attack now, and you can see the potential to win is very high. Remember, they've got very high organization, meaning they can fight for a really long time. Even though their attack might not be as high if we'd gone for line artillery, overall our ability to win is high because we play the long game. Organization, nice and high, and go from there. Meanwhile, I'm just going to queue up lots of mills and pretend I can't see it. The limit of mills is when you reach the point where you don't have enough resources and you have to import. Then you'll make civvies and then you'll make, well, whatever else. We push. And okay, we can send air volunteers. We can send 2 of those. Medium bombers. Send them in. We did a last stand. And then we attack again. Max planning bonus. Deals big damage. Japan is upset with our attaché. Oh, you're upset about the attaché, but like nothing else. And now they've done a naval invasion behind us, and we can just right-click and wipe them out. Just right-click, right-click. S to split, so you can divide them up. And then push. Bit low on guns, but I'm still going to go for the Thompson machine guns anyway, because I feel so confident. Remember to prioritize these divisions by making them elite, meaning equipment will go to this division first. See this one? Elite, meaning prioritization for equipment. Also, you can prioritize the theater by going for this here. You can see this? Prioritizing this theater. So basically, it goes to a list of priorities, like which one is it going to receive first? In this circumstance, it's going to be this theater, and then obviously this division, and then it'll go to this theater for this division, then into the mass number of horses. Right now, the AI is last standing, so what I'm going to do is just pause for a second, give him a planning bonus. Also, I'm going to assign a chief of the Air Force. We'll go for night operations. Stop exercising our planes, because we're not gaining no XP from that anyway. Hey, doctrines. Don't forget about them. Meanwhile, back at home. Boom. Not quite home, but I feel like the home is where you fight in Hoi 4, right? It's a whole war game. See, right now, they're last standing. Can you see this? So what it means is they're going to take lots and lots of HP damage and not so much org damage. But because we're winning and the green bubbles, just persist the attack. And pop. And pop. That's a big win. They're pushing on the front here, but I don't care. Trying to do a naval invasion. They land, but now they're encircled. Then what are you doing with that? Move here, and we're going to push into there, make another encirclement. And we close that pocket. They are last standing again, which is very annoying. With 36 width, that's the best balance of combat widths to try and be effective on all terrains. You could, if you're a tryhard, optimize combat width for where you're going to be fighting in the world. Anyway, you're in position now. I'm going to attack. Max planning. Make a push in the center here. You can break through and then encircle these in the south. Can we do that? There we go. Easy. And we're going to end this war in Asia at lightning speed. We push for Manchukuo. Like, no matter how many times you win and push forward, they just, like, encircle you from behind. Well, not encircle, but they make a push from behind, put it that way. How far are they away from capitulating? Going to war. Look at your current wars. Chinese, Japanese war. Manchukuo, 87%. So we can do here now. And get everyone in position again. And push. So they have made a landing in the center here, and they made another landing here, but I don't actually care, because right now I'm making so big gains that I can knock out Manchukuo and encircle quite a lot of divisions. Like so! So now they've lost 20 divisions in the west, they're about to lose a bunch of divisions in the south, probably another 20, and then making a push in the north, which are super vulnerable. And once again, just keep pushing. Yeah, you hear what he said? He just said, keep moving! Exactly, keep moving. Alright, we have 2 breakthroughs in naval. Now we can go for the proximity fuse, which gives extra AA attack for your ships. But we're not doing it for the ships. We're doing it for the land troops, which will make sense in a moment. Anyway, import a little bit of tungsten. Chromium from Turkey, because that is needed for what we're going to be working on. One of those, it'll make sense in a moment. Also, we're going to develop steel inside of the United States, and we can do that by building infrastructure in the most steel regions, which infrastructure multiplies the amount of steel you get from these regions. As you can see, we're a little bit behind on steel because we've maxed out our production. So once again, as you can see here, they're making a good front in the south, but I'm pushing them so heavy in the north, they're in a really bad way. And I can just grab this port and supply is gone. Also, once again, there's another capital here for Manchukuo. If I take those out, I'll leave another gaping hole in their front lines. Is that enough? Is that enough? I'm just pushing to the victory points here. That one in the east I'm pushing for. Is that enough? Is that enough? Yep, and they've capped. There we go. And then the final push is in the south here. And then you get a white piece on Japan-China war. And once again, when the front line's open, just right-click and go for the ports. Make a front line here and then here. And what will happen is when they've cleaned these front lines, they'll all move over to those next front lines. Therefore, I don't have to micromanage. The road to Busan. Got them. And they should peace out now. Okay, Germany has declared war on Poland. Question is, am I able to send volunteers to Poland in time? Do you know what? It's one of those experimental games, you know, and I just want to try it out. Let's go. 8 volunteers to Poland. We've got some chaos. I'm going to deploy them. Deploy the CAS. 1, 2, 3, 4 CAS. And we can send 2 of those to Poland, which I will. So the Pacific War now is going to be massively unfavorable for Japan. And we just wipe them up. And you can see the power of this infantry now, right? I'm not playing games, right? You can see the power of it. Boom, white piece. Troops have returned home. 8 divisions have arrived. And then I guess I get to do something like... this is going to be weird. Like this. I'm going to add a defensive general. And there we go. So the limit of divisions we can send is based on the size of our army size, which is proportioned to amount of divisions, not battalions, divisions. And also based on the amount of land that they control. So there's a strange situation here where I want to send more divisions, but I can't because the amount of land that they own is very limited. What I need to do is wait for my Chinese volunteers to arrive back and then go from there. Okay, we maxed out our land XP here. We can go for doctrines. Superior firepower. You know what? I want to do it just because I don't usually do it. So I just want to do something a bit different. And integrated support, obviously, because that's where my division is most competent. So all the regions that have got steel, which are what I'm lacking at the moment, are going to have an infrastructure boost. Eventually, we'll still run out of steel, but that's not a big deal because you can do excavation tax, which is going to give you more anyway. Where are my volunteers? Hover over here. It says in transfer arrived on the 28th of September. And they've arrived. 25 divisions. And how many can we send to France? We can send 22 to France. To the UK, we can send 22. All right, 22 for both. You know, this amount of divisions is probably enough as well to just straight up win the war as well. Just a few extra divisions in France just makes a big difference. Talking to you, Britain. 22 divisions makes all the difference. You could just send a handful more. Actually, Britain really did pull their weight in World War II at the very beginning. Boom. Sent them off. Don't think I'm able to join the Allies, am I? Asked to join. Needs to be 80% world tension, which is very close. All right, the boys are here. And we're holding Warsaw. It might actually cap Poland by taking all the other land and leaving Warsaw. Just the way the victory points are distributed. Let's have a look. Poland is at 79%. Possibly. Very possible. Anyway, the boys. 22 divisions. That's no divisions, you know. That's a decent amount of troops. Front line, off you go. Exercise to level 3. Decent amount of air force. So they're just like, well, we can't take out the Americans holding on to Warsaw, so we'll just push eastward. Completely bypassing the Americans completely. Okay, I'm making some civilian factories now. Regretfully, because the economy needs boosting. All right, more divisions. How many can we train? 40. And the lack of equipment we've got right now is just raw road guns. And it's the tanks as well. A little bit of everything. But remember, don't prioritize the equipment for these new divisions. Prioritize it for everything else. So low priority here. For all the divisions on the front line are going to have the high priority. Yep, and just a few American troops here on this region is enough to hold them back. Meanwhile, I forgot about my doctrines. No, I didn't. Here we go, max doctrines out now on our ships, so there's no point actually exercising the ships anymore. We're actually really close to actually properly joining World War II, but remember, when you do join World War II, your volunteers will get sent back, which is just really bizarre, really, because how do they actually escape from here? It doesn't make any sense. And Poland did cap, and that means the volunteers get teleported back to me. Once again, that doesn't make a lot of sense either, does it? How did they escape? Were they negotiated out? I don't know. But Warsaw did not fall, for the record. I think the most annoying thing to happen when France gets declared on and gets invaded is when Italy collapses straight afterwards. So I'm going to do something really wonky and do it in the reverse order. So what we're going to do is we'll deploy these divisions. We can send 22 divisions to Britain. 23. Nope. There we go. 22 divisions. Send that to Britain. So we basically have like a full volunteer force here. We are basically playing the American World Police game here. These do become a little bit micro-intensive because they are separate volunteer forces. They're not all the same. Denmark got invaded by Germany. Instantly capped. Could send some troops to Norway. Oh, we got the option to join the war now anyway. So all the volunteers have returned. I guess we are going for the speedrun of World War II here, aren't we? Anyway, join the war officially now. Navy would usually be used in the Pacific, but not this time. Put them on aggressive. We'll split them 2 times over. All aggressive, and this will completely nullify their ability to invade Norway. Also, going to send me some troops, volunteers. Also, we're going to remove some of these convoys from the market. Also, the guns too. Never mind. We've never really been involved in the market anyway. All right. 2 armies. 1, 2. New theater. 1, 2. Eisenhower. Send them to Italy. Exercise to level 3. Is Italy in the war yet? Nope. Oh, and they're going through the lowlands. Oh, Christ. I might even be able to arrive in time. Okay, in that circumstance, then, we are going to do the opposite of what we planned. We are actually going to defend France. Oh, man, this is a matter of time. We're only halfway across the Atlantic, and the Germans have arrived bashing on the back door of the Dutch. And the Belgians arrived just into France and just in time to hold the front against the Germans in Belgium. From my Hoi 4 experience, I know this is enough to hold on. But meanwhile, we need another 26 divisions. Or 28 divisions. That's a 24 plus the 4 to make this one a full one as well. Yeah. Okay, how many troopers have we got now? We'll delete the horses just so it's a fair number. I realize I've got another 28 of these guys. Oh, Christ. I've miscalculated these numbers completely. So that means we just need the 24 here. Yep, okay. Never realized. I didn't realize I had that many troops, you know. And you realize you're big, but not that big. Speaking of big, if you are pretty big and you want to be a part of a successful growing channel, why don't you subscribe to this video? You don't have to. It's completely optional, but if you do, I really would appreciate that. I love you. Holding out against the Germans, and we've sunk their pride of the fleet, and it's pretty much done for them now. All right, upgrade time. We need to get a better CAS, so we are going to go for the small improved airframe with very large bomb, very large bomb, and very large bomb. Can I hold this with the triple engine? Yeah, we can, but the range is not going to be very good. Once again, we're America. Yeah, we can get away with this, so I'm going to do it. You have no rubber, but luckily you're in the Allies, so you get all the rubber you want and all the aluminium you want. Planes, close air support, and air superiority, and pop them onto a division across the Atlantic. Norway is impossible to invade because I've got a Death Stack Navy in this region. So if you were a player, how would you defeat this Death Stack Navy? Well, what you kind of do is get air superiority in the Eastern North Sea, and then you'd naval strike this region over and over again. Because it's so far away from any airbase from the Allies, they can't defend this region, so your torpedo strikes are kind of going to go unopposed. And as you can see right now, we've weakened the German Navy down to practically nothing. We'll do become a spy master, then we'll do all the spy upgrades. Italy has not joined the war right now. Is that because Belgium hasn't capped? Oh, that might be hard-coded. Actually, I think it is hard-coded. All right, the infantry division is big, but the infantry makes the supply not as a big deal compared to if it was line artillery. However, it's always a good idea to have logistics. In the meantime, though, I'm going to go for Armored Engineering Company because I am making a little bit of armored support vehicles. Just a few. Wait, never mind. No, I thought Italy joined the war, but it was Mexico. You can see what I mean. Similar flags. I got confused. Italy and Mexico, similar flags? Yes, they do have similar flags. Whoa, this was at the back of my mind, and I wasn't even sure if that was true. They have. Hang on a minute. Stop for a second. They don't have those emblems on in the modern day, do they? So do they have the same flag? I'm having a bit of a history moment right now, guys. Because you're in the Allies now, you can afford to have low guns, so you can have them Lend-Leased in. And that's what I will do. So we don't need any more trains. Trucks will still make a trickle of those because they might run out. National focuses are kind of pointless now. The Senate system is kind of pointless now. Utilize the film industry, the fleet that came to stay, and war bonds. Meanwhile, civilian factories. I like them. Let's queue those up. So it feels like waiting for Italy to join is not going to happen now. So I've done the right thing by putting my troops on this front. However, my CAS is getting chewed at lightning speed. German Air Force is very strong. Air land battle gives air superiority, and on the right, shock and awe, just pure brute damage. So it's damage I'm going to go for. I'm very confident I can win this one, though. Yeah, let's go. Boosh! Well, the infantry is pretty damn strong. And as you can see, I'm making a push on the front here and breaking through immediately. So once again, if I get a gap in the front, I want to push into it. So I'm holding shift and right-clicking here to make breaks over the Rhine River and just keep going. He shouted, keep going, keep moving. That's exactly what I'm doing. Of course, having the spies gives that intel advantage, so always good to have a little bit more of that. Boosh! And as I said, right in the center here, that's where the big gap is. So if you're able to do this, make a big push across these plains here. What you can do is encircle them in the Netherlands. 1940 June, and it looks like the Fourth Reich is collapsing. And there we go, encircled. Oh, big encirclement, like 30 divisions in Holland. RIP. Meanwhile, I'm going to shorten the front line to prioritize all my troops in the very northern flank. I'm going to right-click on Berlin and right-click on Rostock. I'm so determined to win. Oh, another encirclement. I'm just going to push with all my power across the water. You can see, look, the troops here. You can see these ones are all bunched up, but these front lines are really thin. That's why when you're winning, you have to keep winning, because that way then you can cause the divisions to get stuck, pinned in place, and then get encircled. Because right now I'm going to push to Rostock, and now these 10 divisions that have been pinned in place here are completely locked in and they can't get out. And there we go. They're encircled. So late game, what do you do as America? Well, you've got to get your excavation techs. So you are going to supply the world with the resources they need to maintain this total war. As you can see, I'm pushing and doing quite well. Oh, Italy's joined the war. Of all times to join the war. So I think that was mighty foolish. I always like to declare war on Denmark as well. And technically you can do that because they are a puppet of Germany, which allows you to have a free CB against, well, everyone who is a puppet of that nation, I guess. Oh, another little encirclement in the mountains of the Sudeten. Yeah, I'm going to declare war. My hatred for the Danish continues through every single video. I'm kidding, I love Denmark. That is a mighty fine push. Don't forget to get infantry expert for that maximum damage. Also, is there anything else I can go for? Logistics is quite useful. Tactical bombing is pretty good. Ground support 15% or 5% ground attack factor. Guys, let me know. What is the better one there? I suppose it does also give air mission efficiency as well. Are they any good? I don't know. Spreadsheet experts are probably going to let me know in the comments below. The Fourth Reich has collapsed. And it collapsed on... Actually, can we just right-click on the area? Boom. The Fourth Reich collapsed on the 6th of September, 1940. The most historical game. Front line here. What's really bizarre... I say this every game, though, so this isn't not new information. But what's really bizarre is that they still join the Axis, even when they've seen that the main lead of the Axis has been completely demolished. I think that's just really, really strange for me. I don't know. I can't handle that. It's just a bit weird. When you get lazy, you just stack all your spies on the capital of the leader of the faction. It's Italy this time. Regretfully, Italy. Two front lines here. There's the eastern push here, ignoring Yugoslavia. And then we have the west here through the Alps. Armored Engineering Company we can add on now. And if you replace that, we get the Assault, which gives breakthrough, heart attack, little bit of armor, and bonuses in different terrain types. Or the Armored Engineering Company, which is a little bit more balanced, but focus more on defense. So we're going for the Assault. And you can see now we need way more armored support companies. Wow, so much more. Top that off as well. We've got some Air Force. Deploy them. Exercise to level 3. Hungary, notoriously bad for getting invaded because they're all plains, so you can just right-click and push all the way through. There you go, Hungary's gone. Do the same for Romania too. Getting through the mountains is a little bit more tricky. Oh, damn, and they're last standing in the mountains too. Because of the amount of firepower that we offer and the strength of our divisions, eventually we will just break them just by pure firepower. Meanwhile, Italy has split. Did I get the puppets? No, Britain did. That makes no sense. I'm going to right-click there and then right-click there. And then gas. And then the famous strait, can we break it? Yeah, cast damage is just too high. You know, America's one of those countries that I can play in Hoi for, and I feel like I can play it kind of a little bit blindfolded because, I mean, I just feel like I can turn off, you know, because, I mean, it's so easy. Maxed out my shock and awe. Meanwhile, supply is atrocious. Why is the supply so bad? Once again, just with pure brute firepower, even with low supply, I can break through. The shock and awe is just too strong. Romania, right-click on Bulgaria. And for some reason, they're a major power. Yeah, they're a major. Makes sense of it. I don't know. And I make Germany a puppet state, which is the worst kind of puppet you can have when you're a democratic nation. What are these borders? France, Austria, puppet state. Wow, that's actually a really cool icon. Bring Phoenix Insurance from the ashes. Insurance? France occupies the rest of Austria. Meanwhile, American occupation zone. Very big. Meanwhile, as I said earlier, that the puppets you get as a democracy are very, very bad. Oh no, the bad guys. It's the Soviet Union. Boo. Meanwhile, in Asia, Japan. Very weak. Not doing anything. Is there any wars happening? Oh, apparently we're at war with Iraq. Don't forget, when you get flame tanks, you also have the option to get the flame module upgrade, which improves the stats. Don't forget, when you get level 6 on your Mayo, you get to select a policy, which in this case, we're going to go for 2% hardness. That's not a very good one at all, but whatever. Yeah, we're going to come off free trade and go for limited exports to maintain our equipment that we've got. We'll still take the rubber, though. Never mind, Japan's decided to join a little bit late. So do you know what we do? We just immediately embargo them, and it should be easy to do because we have access to all the ports around them. And they've arrived, and the embargo has begun. If I go here as well, that's it. Then they're fully encircled. Yeah, that's it. If you keep an eye on them now, we'll see that their convoys will reach practically 0. From 200 to 176. Just FYI, by the way, this is actually with no naval upgrades. I didn't go for any of them. Navy, unfortunately, is a bit of a joke. Anyway, regardless of joke, Soviet Union, attack. Everyone else joined the war and push through Poland. Poland is used as a launching base for my army. Full air support, 2,000 CAS, off you go. And that's the damage we're doing. It's pretty big. I just chew through the front line here. Once again, the power of this infantry is outstanding because they have the most cost effectiveness of all infantry due to the fact that they're all HP and their soft attack is so unbelievably high. And And 36 is the sweet spot. And plus, I'm stacking all the modifiers too, which infantry have got good ones. Look at all these plus signs in the bottom right here. You can see the overall damage that they actually do is hunormous. Proximity fuse has been researched. What you could do with this now is go into artillery, and you've got this option here. Shock hardened techniques, which increases static anti-air damage, which is kind of crap, but this one's the good one. 10% soft attack for line artillery and 20% for support. That's just massive. Get it researched. Very big. Big damage. Combat casualties. I've lost 17 war support. I'm taking big damage here. And what I have to do now is do all the mitigations, which is these propaganda efforts. Meanwhile, Japan embargo has continued. Convoys are down to less than 100. Fuel is 0, so their ability to prevent my blockade is non-existent as well. So Japan encircled, practically waiting to get naval invaded now. The amount of divisions they've got is lacking. Oh, less than 100 divisions. They're in a really bad way. Losing China early on was probably really hurt them. And the Soviet Union. Let's have a look at the casualties. What are the casualties, Dave? Tell me what they are. They've lost a total of 3.3 million. 2.9 of that, almost 3. We'll say 3. Million was lost to the United States. I have lost 240,000 just grinding against the Soviet Union. Unlimited manpower, unlimited equipment. I am the United States. I am very powerful. I am very strong. Because that is what the United States does very well. So I don't know who says to you, Dave, you really need to make tanks. You really need to make planes. Well, I guess I have made planes, but they were just a bunch of cast. They weren't really like mixed, you know, with fighters and bombers and whatnot. It's just mass cast spam, you know. Well, you don't actually need to, because here you go. If you make the right infantry with 36 width, you could dominate lots of things. Now, I will say one caveat. Line infantry is pretty good in certain scenarios like the Spanish Civil War, or if you're a minor power versus another minor power early game and you're trying to dominate by getting that edge in a very small conflict. However, when it gets these big battles and it's a war of attrition, the big line artillery divisions just eat too much equipment and you lose too much manpower overall due to less HP. So overall, I would not recommend them. Guys, is your name on screen? That means you're amazing. Thank you for clicking the join button below, and thanks for enjoying these videos earlier than everyone else. You are very special. I love you. And if you've not already done so already and you want more of this content, don't forget to subscribe. God bless you, and I will see you next time.